Anyway, let's get into this Kingpin Anonymous, the mother and son who took over the Hunts Point, the whole crew avenue. I mean the whole avenue crew. What the hell? I'm glitching. The whole
Okay.
avenue crew.
Have
is
any of you
crazy.
watched the classic movie, Warriors? If not, we recommend that you watch it.
Come out and
This
play.
channel is similar to Lady who was reporting at the radio station. She gave updates as to what was going on with the different crews in New York City. Crazy thing, in that movie, all the gangs came together for a peace treaty. The one who orchestrated the peace treaty would be killed. Well, that is reminiscent of an actual event that took place. This story takes place at 914 Hoe Avenue. The building was made famous for an actual peace meeting in December 1971, when members of two rival gangs met to propose a first-of-its-kind truce, after combatants from one faction murdered a peacemaker from the other. So yeah, the building has its history, but we end up with this story 2 decades later. This is the Hoe Avenue crew story. So, a woman,
I swear I've been
Rosalie,
by that
her son
building
Roman,
before.
and another member, Silva, were involved in an indictment charging them with racketeering, narcotics trafficking, murder and other offenses. It was all related to their participation in an alleged heroin distribution organization centered on Hoe Avenue in the Bronx.
Hold on, chat. Give me a second, chat.
Rosalie was also known as Shorty, that's what people called her on the block. She led the crew and reigned for a decade or more, from approximately 1991 into the 2000s. Hunts Point had some major players in the area during the time, so this story is only a piece of what was going on, and there is more to this story in the grand scope of things. Chicky Boo the Emperor also harbored Hunts Point. He was part of a larger organization, the Velasquez Enterprise, who were very much dominate in the drug trade and responsible for wild murders, arsons, robbery, whatever comes with the game. People don't know much about that part. Anyway, only a few blocks from where Shorty was getting money, you had the Nasty Boys and the Bryant Boys. Yeah, the precinct was crazy during this time. Fort Apache is what they called it. As for Shorty, she allegedly made about $70,000 a week, right out of building 914 selling dope. As we stated, the 6-story apartment building has a long history of violent conflict. One article, from the Daily News in 2005, headlined, Hell on Earth, starts off with the bold claim that 914 Hoe Avenue could easily be the most dangerous address in New York, before running off a list of drug deals and murders. In September of 1994, a sniper shot 3 people from the roof of the building, killing one. Not sure if that had anything to do with the crew, but let us jump right into this story. So, by the summer of 1994 a double murder would take place. It came at the close of a 3-month war between the Hoe Avenue crew and a rival drug organization. The murders were in retaliation for the murder by a rival drug crew of Roman's best friend, Otero. Roman was Shorty's son, and Shorty was also close to Otero, who was killed. This didn't sit well, and we must note that Shorty and her son were of the Spanish culture. Some of them are into the spirits or whatever, don't really know how to explain that. However, Shorty and Roman allegedly paid a Santeria priestess for a spell that would reveal the identity of Otero's murderer, so that he could be killed. Allegedly, Roman consulted with Shorty before offering $10,000 to anyone who killed a member of the rival drug gang. Roman gave a guy named Serrano and others guns. Serrano was a part of another crack conspiracy, but dealt with the crew. Eventually, Roman ultimately paid Serrano and two other shooters $5,000 for killing of two members of the rival drug crew, Quinones and Cosca. Silva was a lower-rung participant in the heroin distribution enterprise, but had broad discretion in carrying out his role as a hitman. He too was involved in the double murder. The murder was done without specifically clearing it with Roman or receiving particular instructions as to how to execute the murder. Indeed, Serrano testified that Roman and Shorty did not pay Silva and the others the full promised amount for the double murders because they were unhappy with the manner and location in which it happened. Basically, the job was pretty sloppy. Before the murders though, Serrano claimed that he spoke to other workers at 914, who he suggested worked for Shorty and Roman. After witnessing a Hoe Avenue crew member named Ruben shoot at an empty car, Ruben told Serrano that he shot at the car because Shorty told him a rival drug leader was in it. Serrano had interactions with other drug dealers, Leo and Gary, who were in competition with Shorty, and some sort of an exchange he had with Julio, who he believed worked for Shorty. 4 months later, in September, the rooftop shootings would take place. Detectives had been scouring the neighborhood for 3 weeks, searching for the shooter, who apparently fired on 3 people, killing one and wounding another. 13 shell casings from a small caliber gun were recovered from the 914 building. The casings had the same caliber as the bullet that struck one of the victims. The first incident took place early on the morning of August 15th, and the second and third were within an hour of each other on the morning of August 23rd. In the first incident, a 19-year-old, of 929 Bruckner Boulevard, a building porter, was walking with his stepfather near the corner of Bruckner Boulevard and Fale Street, when he was struck in the back. They were buying cookies and milk from a bodega. They came running 2 blocks to their house, his stepfather holding him up. They called the ambulance, but by the time it came, he was dead already. The second incident took place about 5 a.m. on 163rd Street, a block away from the Hoe Avenue building. In that incident, a 34-year-old man was shot in the hip. Then, about an hour later, 8 shots rained on a car driving near the intersection of Hoe Avenue and Bruckner Boulevard. The driver, who was driving to work, was not wounded. On the roof, along a retaining wall, someone had painted a mural in memory of a teenager from the neighborhood who was shot to death while robbing a store in nearby Castle Hill 2 years prior. 4 people had died on this block in the past 2 years. Back in these days, people used to shoot of the roof and use people, places and things as target practice. Not sure about this, but this was happening a lot at the time. Moving along though. By 1997, there was the murder of a rival dealer named Oreo. It's alleged that on the night of the murder, Shorty was hysterical and screaming. She had told Roman that Oreo had taken drugs from one of her workers. Oreo dared her to tell Roman to come and get the drugs back himself, and threatened to kill her the next time he saw her on the block. Shorty reportedly screamed to Roman about Oreo, "I'm tired of his stuff. We got to do something. We got to kill him." Shorty then went to retrieve a bag with 2 guns inside and handed it to Roman and Velez, who was another Hoe Avenue crew member. Roman took a bag with guns from his mother and headed to Hoe Avenue to find Oreo. Shorty reportedly told Roman to be careful and make sure that everything is done right.
Yeah, chat.
In the weeks
yeah, chat. I know the mic is muted. Bro.
Leading up to Oreo's murder, Shorty instructed workers to call her if Oreo showed up on the block. Shorty would receive those phone calls, and in turn, she would call Roman and notify him that Oreo was around. Roman would then say he was going to take care of it, and go out with his gun. Tonight would be the night though. When the group found Oreo at the pool hall, Roman reportedly dragged him out of the bathroom. I'm over here multitasking, chat.
That's what it is.
Allegedly, at one point he told Velez not to shoot, but Morges, another cooperator.
Another thing is, because like I'm pausing the video because I don't want to miss what's going on, but I'm saying something, so I'm pausing the video. It is like, and I'm looking at the camera. I'm so used to looking at this shit.
Witness shot and killed him before they left the pool hall. Roman stated, "We wasn't
We
supposed
all
to kill
muted
him
for
like
good
that.
now. We Gucci.
We wasn't supposed to kill him in front of people." Morges testified that the plan had been to kill Oreo after a kidnapping, and that Roman was mad because they had planned, whatever they was going to do to him, it had to be somewhere else where nobody could see. There was another murder too, the murder of Tramp. Serrano stated that Silva told him about murdering Tramp around the time Roman issued a contract for the murder of a rival drug crew. Silva was angry at Roman for paying him in installments rather than one lump sum, and he expressed this to Serrano. Allegedly, on the night of the murder, Silva and Roman were talking for a while separately from other co-conspirators. There was a Mark Anthony concert going on, so Ho Avenue crew members and associates slide through. Silva did not go with the others to the Mark Anthony concert, but turned up later, after Serrano heard from another individual that Tramp had been killed. Silva and Roman again engaged in a private conversation out of earshot of the others when Silva arrived at the concert. At the time of the murder, Roman and other members of the Ho Avenue crew suspected Tramp of robbing Roman. This same year, 97, the Ho Avenue crew labeled Silva as a snitch. Back in 1995, cops had came to Roman's residence. Not sure what that was about though. By 1997, Roman had suspected that the police visit was connected to Silva. Another witness stated that even by November or December of 97, Silva had said that he loved Roman, and that he would kill again if he had to. Whether the police visit was connected to Silva, I don't know. But again, this is a piece of a larger picture, as we haven't covered much of the 90s drug wars in the Bronx. They were indicted in the mid-2000s, and initially, Silva, Shorty and Roman received life sentences.
Yeah.
If anything changed with that, you all can let us know in the comments. Since then, the block was raided in 2000.
Yeah, y'all niggas know it's not funny, but you know what's crazy is with the law, right? You got people that got life sentence for selling drugs. And you got people that murdered people and got a date to come home, right? That shit is crazy, right? Think about it. Like, yeah, y'all niggas made too much money on the streets. They don't really care about the people that's doing the drugs. If they did, they would have got the drugs off the streets, bro. They don't care about that shit, my nigga. They the ones getting these shits in here, bro. Come on, they don't give a shit about no. Come on, bro. Like real nigga shit, bro. You think these niggas actually give a fuck about people in the hood taking drugs? And then you got to think about it also with drugs, right? You got a choice. You don't have to take it. You feel me? So someone selling someone drugs, they ain't forcing you to take it. You taking that shit. You feel me? So if a nigga could go to jail for you doing something you want to do, and then you give a nigga like this shit backwards.
2015. Law enforcement officials stormed the rundown, 6-story walk-up at 914 Ho Avenue and arrested 20 people on charges of conspiracy to distribute large quantities of heroin and crack, dating back to May 2014. 6 were also charged with possession of firearms, and police say that one of the defendants shot at 2 people on Aldous Street sometime in May of that year. That's a whole nother story. But yeah, that's that, and as always, stay low and thanks for watching.
That shit's crazy, bro. I wonder how much bread that these sites, like these pages that make these gang videos with the AI be making. I wonder how much bread that shit make. It's just like really just easy to create those type of videos. Go online, get like an article, put the article into one of them voice shits, and got a video. I ain't gonna front this shit crazy though, bro.